All right, I was gonna say, I think we might have ourselves another quarter, but this may be even better than a quarter, guys. Have a listen. How cool would that be if we were able to get our first $half here, guys? Oh my gosh, look at that edge. What the heck is this gonna be? What do you say we go ahead and pull it out, guys? 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ultimate Coin Hunt. That of course being the series where I take my metal detector from location to location in search of all United States coins dating back over the last 100 years. So these right here are all of the collections that I'm working on filling out in this series, and as you guys know, I've been struggling with this Lincoln Cents from 09 to 1940 collection right here. These are the early wheat pennies and I still haven't, out of 9 episodes, put a single coin into this collection. And that is why I chose the location of today's hunt to be a park that has well over 100 years in history. I've found Indian head pennies here before. I've found early teens wheat pennies here as well. Plus, with those kind of coins coming out of the ground, you gotta think there might be a chance for some old silver as well. I'm super excited to see what this location has in store for us today. And with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the hunt. All right, guys, right off the bat, we have a pretty good signal here. Take a listen. Sounds like it could be a copper penny, also could be a bottle cap. Let's see if we can start this one off with a coin. Unfortunately, I think I just found the answer to that question in the plug right here. This one's gonna be a bottle cap, and that's probably gonna be the case with a lot of the signals here. That's typically what I find a whole lot of at this area, but sprinkled in, there's also some really nice coins. So hopefully we can find some of those. I'll meet you on the next signal. All right, here we go, similar deal, take a look. Kind of weird to see it, little 83, 84. Sometimes it jumps down to 82. This is probably gonna be a bottle cap, but just in case it's not, let's go ahead and dig it. All right, this one's looking a little more promising. It still sounds good, even up in the plug. I've identified it just about there. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it on camera here. Again, this may be a bottle cap, we still don't know, but could be something else. Okay, maybe it's even something completely different. Look at that. Looks like we got ourselves another key. And that kind of looks like another house key, or maybe an apartment key into a building. Kind of cool. Not the worst thing in the world. Still better than a bottle cap, but yeah, we're looking for coins here today, so let's move on. All right, third time's the charm. Let's see if we can get it here. Again, even lower this time. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Nope, more trash, unfortunately, although that definitely looked good for a second. But yeah, this is a pretty trashy place if you haven't noticed already. I even found some non-metal trash here. All right, we'll move on, and next time, I promise you, is going to be a coin. Apologies for the sirens in the background, but of course, the very next signal that I get and don't film ends up being a coin. Check this out. Really not the best signal either. I mean, you get some high tones, but they're really jumping around, so I wasn't sure about this one, which is why I didn't film it. But take a look, guys. We do have a coin down here in the hole. I think that was the imprint right there, and then this is our coin. This looks like it could be old, too. Yeah, it looks like a penny. What is it gonna be? Okay, nope, not super old. It is a memorial. So we have a copper penny here, it looks like. We'll have to get a date off of that a little bit later and see if that needs to go into the collection. But that is our first coin of the day, so I'm happy about it. Let's move on to the next. Alrighty, guys, so quite a few bottle caps and pieces of trash later, we just found ourselves another coin. And once again, this is looking like it's at least gonna be copper. Hopefully we can get ourselves a wheat penny. It would be the first of this year at least. So let's take a look, see what we're gonna get here. Oh, wait a minute, this is a Canadian penny. All right, so that's kind of interesting. I am actually keeping some Canadian collections, so we may actually be able to put this one in, and it's actually quite old, it looks like. I was gonna say, this has a really weird color for a American penny. 1969 Canadian. So we'll have to see if that's going to go into one of our Canadian collections. That's pretty cool, pretty old. I was hoping when I first saw all those little edges that kind of signified this as a Canadian, that we would have ourselves a KG, but I'll take Queen Elizabeth. All right, on to the next. So it turns out that may not have been the only coin in the hole. I just rechecked it, and this clump contains something magnetic, or not magnetic, metallic. But let's see if it's gonna be a coin or not. It's gotta be, it's a pretty small clump. Oh no, it's not. It looks like a piece of a thimble. That's bizarre. I don't think I've ever found a piece of a thimble before, let alone a full one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It wasn't making a huge noise, so I guess that makes sense. That's pretty cool. All right, I'll take it. All right, after about an hour of digging, nothing but bottle caps, I finally found something other than a bottle cap. It's not a coin though, unfortunately. But let's take a look at it anyway. Looks like it is going to be some kind of zipper. F and M. I'll have to see if I can figure out what that stands for. Probably off of some kind of fancy coat. Doesn't seem too old though, so anyway, I guess that's pretty cool. On to the next. All right, so I spent about 2 hours at that park with nothing to show other than 2 pennies and a ton of bottle caps. That's like 2 pennies an hour. No, that's 1 penny an hour. What am I talking about? We got to get to a different location. I'll see you at the next one. So I cleaned up our 2 finds from the last location. We got a 64 Denver Lincoln penny and then a 1969 Canadian. Somewhat dishearteningly though, if you look at our Lincoln cent collection, we already have the 64 Denver, pretty high mintage on that one, 3.8 billion. And then over here, we actually already have the 1969 Canadian penny as well. Also a pretty high mintage for a Canadian penny, 335 million. So that means after almost 3 hours of digging, we have gotten ourselves nowhere, just a whole bunch of bottle caps and a couple cents richer. With that being said, we are now at the new location. It's a super tiny park that honestly, I don't think anybody has ever metal detected before. I'll probably be able to get through the whole thing today in just a couple of hours. So we'll go ahead and see if we can find some coins. All right, looks like we were right about the coins. Very first signal, it's probably gonna be a zinc penny. It was up here in the plug and it sounded like a zinc penny. Although if I were to dig this over at the other park, it probably would have been a bottle cap. So I'm happy to finally see some coins coming out easy for us. That's a good sign. It looks like we're even gonna get a date on that, 1997. Could be going into the collection, that'd be nice. All right, on to the next signal. All right, check this one out. This looks like it might be a penny. Let's have a listen. Well, I don't know. Earlier it was showing a little bit better in the 80s. Now it's jumping around into the 70s as well. When I see that 81, 82, sometimes that means bottle cap. But we'll go ahead and dig it, see what it is. Well, we got the right depth, but not the right target. Unfortunately, this one just ended up being a piece of scrap metal. Oh well, on to the next. All right, not bad, not bad. I think this may have actually been the original signal. I just got distracted by whatever was over here, that piece of scrap metal. But we have a coin coming out right here. It was actually very shallow, but there it is. It's kind of blending in with the dirt. But yeah, that's a Lincoln penny. It also looks like it's going to be copper. Let's do a zoom on that so we can take a look, see if we're gonna get a date. Oh no, probably not gonna get a date just yet. It looks like there's quite a bit of dirt on it, but we'll figure that out later and see if it's going into the collection. Very cool. So we got a zinc and a copper penny out of here so far. Let's see what else we can get. And the very next hole looks like we got ourselves another coin. Now, I don't know how I missed it so badly. It was actually over here in the sidewall. So I might have hit it with my shovel. Hopefully I didn't. And it looks like it's a Lincoln penny. Let's take a look at the reverse. Yep, it's gonna be a memorial. So another copper penny. I think I even saw from that. No, that's from the 60s it looks like. Oh no, that definitely is 1980. So that's probably an 81 or an 82. But either way, I'm happy to be getting some copper pennies. Hopefully we'll be getting some wheat pennies and maybe even some silver. All right, another hole, another copper. We just snagged ourselves, I think that's copper penny number 3 or 4, and this one date is clearly visible, 1976. Most of these have been copper so far. All right, that's pretty cool. Let's keep on moving and see what else we can get. Oh guys, look at that, a centipede. Oh, it was crawling across my coin. This is why I wear a glove on the hand that I use to touch these coins. I believe those suckers can sting you. But we did just pull another zinc penny out of basically the same hole as that last copper penny. So these were probably dropped at the same time. We do need more zinc pennies than coppers though, so I'll take it. Looks like we got our first potentially higher denomination signal here. Have a listen. Jumping around 89, 90, up to 91 even. Sounds like it could be a clad quarter, but it could also be silver, so let's go ahead and dig it. So this one actually ended up being in the plug, and that's at a pretty shallow depth at about a solid 89 once the plug was dug. So you can see this is probably going to be a clad quarter, but let's go ahead and pull it out and see. And there we go. So one of the older ones though, that's good to see. 1967, oh my gosh guys, all these coins over here in the 60s and 70s, that means that we do have a chance for getting some silver for sure. So I'm happy to see that. I thought we had a state quarter there for a second, but 67 is quite old, also pretty common as well. So I don't think we need that one in the collection, but it's definitely a good sign. Let's keep going. All right guys, check this out. I just dug a zinc penny, got down on this hole. I'm pretty sure we have a copper penny, but I wanted to show you this right here. freaking worst thing that has ever been invented. These things bite like crazy and I hate them. But anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the task at hand. We have what looks to be a copper penny up here in the plug. Let's see if we're gonna get a wheat penny. It'll be the first of the season so far. We still haven't been able to find one yet. Oh, that's very close. Look at that, guys. 1966 it looks like. Unfortunately, that is gonna be a memorial. We're looking for pre-1959 for the wheats. And I know that we still need quite a few of those in the collection. Still haven't been able to find a pre-1940s yet. I'm on the lookout for those as well, as you saw in the beginning of the episode. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get back to it. There's tons of coins in this area, and this fly won't leave me alone. At least it's not biting right now. This is why you always recheck your holes. There's actually another copper penny sitting right about the same spot. You can tell it's already a memorial. But let's see if we can get a date off of it. Maybe a little bit later. That one's not really cleaning up too well. I think it's in the 70s though. So right next to those two copper pennies, it looks like we are going to get one more out of here, and it's actually going to be a zinc this time. Didn't sound quite as good, but it is another coin. It looks like it's in the 90s from what I can tell. And hopefully that's going into the collection. And not even a foot away, we actually have a pretty clean looking copper penny coming out right here. I was surprised to see that come out. It might even have a little bit of luster left on it. Let's pry it out and take a look. Oh man, it doesn't get much cleaner than that. If only we could get a wheat penny like that. Oh my gosh, guys, another 60s. Let me put that down and we'll take a look at it. Yeah, 63 it looks like. We are getting closer and closer to that wheat penny. And I don't know, I think it's only a matter of time before we finally get one. If we found a dime like that, that would be a silver. On to the next. So apparently this hole actually wasn't over. I just about drove myself crazy looking for this high signal in this clump of dirt here, and turns out it's actually way shallower than that penny was. I was looking in the same spot, but that was not the way to go. This is actually going to be a quarter, and it looks like once again it's going to be a pre-States quarter. So this is at least as old as 1998. Let's see what we're gonna get for a year on it. 1990 something. I'll clean it up and give you a better look. All right, there we go, 1991. Not as old as that one we found earlier, 1967, but this may be going into the collection. We still need quite a few of the quarters. So once again, all within the same area. I just dug a zinc penny right here. I got down on this one, and it looks like we have ourselves our first dime of the hunt. Let's go ahead and pull it out and see what we're gonna get. I think there may actually be more in this hole as well. But yeah, are we gonna get an older one or what? Guess we'll have to see. Oh, it's looking like a 2000s, actually, 2001, I believe. And I think actually in the last hunt we did, we found all of the 2000s and 2001s, so that one probably won't be going in. But hey, another dime is 10 cents richer. Let's keep moving. So I just had a screaming 84 signal, which was basically right on top of the ground. Used the pinpointer to find this exact location and pried up the dirt and take a look. Looks like we got ourselves a toy car. It's one of the specialties on this channel. It's probably because we go to so many parks and whatnot. But yeah, let's see what we got here. That's pretty cool. I think it's gonna be plastic. Oh, it's longer than I thought. What the heck? It's like a semi-truck type of thing. Very cool. I wonder if the truck's under there somewhere. Maybe not. But anyway, I think that's a pretty cool find. I like finding this stuff. Is that a Pepsi logo? Huh. I'll have to clean that up and see what it is. It almost looks like a Great Britain truck or something like that. All right, cool, on to the next. So this one sounded like it was gonna be a deep copper penny. I got all the way down. It wasn't in the plug, it was in the bottom of the hole, but I don't know what this is. Take a look at that. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Like a button maybe? If I pull that dirt out, there's probably gonna be a pin there, but it doesn't really have any writing on it or anything like that, so pretty strange. Still kind of cool though. All right, this is a first for me, and I barely had to dig for it at all. Take a look at this, guys. I've found pieces of these before, probably much older versions as well, but this right here is an entire harmonica. How cool is that? I don't think you'd be able to use it, but maybe if it was cleaned up enough. All right, guys, it took us a while, but we finally just found another copper penny. This one was actually pretty deep. I dug a pretty big plug, and it ended up being up here in the plug, just a little ways down. Let's go ahead and zoom in on it there. This one's looking a little bit green. I like that. That means it might be a little bit older. I'm hoping that we can finally get our first wheat penny out here. So let's go ahead and pick it up and see what we are going to have. I can't see the date on it just yet. We'll flip it over. Unfortunately, it's just a memorial again. I think it's in the 70s, possibly 60s, but it's a little bit hard to tell right now. So we'll go ahead and keep moving and see what else we can find. All right, guys, this is like the fourth penny I've pulled out of like a 1 foot square radius. This is pretty crazy. The first two were zinc. This one is going to be copper. The last one was also copper. It was that dreaded 1975. I get that all the time. But take a look at this one, guys. This, I think, is as close as we have gotten so far today to getting a wheat penny, 1960. And of course, once again, if we found a dime 1960, that would be silver and it would be going into the collection. So I think this is definitely the place to look. I'm back into the area where I was finding all those 60s and 70s pennies. So we're gonna stick in this area and see if we can get something older. Look at this, we just got our first wheat penny. This is the first thing I saw right here. Take a look. That is the date, 1941, so close to being pre-1940s. And it actually looks like it's in really great shape. I can't believe that it basically looks like one that you'd find in a roll. Here, let's flip it over. Yeah, look at that, guys, that is amazing. All right, so this is some good soil, I can tell you that right now. That is a very nice looking 1941 wheat cent right there. Our first of the season and in great shape. Hopefully that one's going to be going into the collection and hopefully we can find some more. So let's get on to it and see if we can find some more and maybe even a silver dime or something like that. There it is, all cleaned up. It didn't take much, just a little wipe down. And look at that, guys, that backside is stunning. So even if we do have a 1941 in the collection already, I don't think it's gonna be as nice as this one. Look at the definition on those wheat ears. Very nice coin right here. I'm looking forward to getting another. I just have to reiterate, guys, this soil is amazing for preserving these coins right here. This is a zinc penny. There's tons of zinc pennies here. I kind of have to pick and choose what I'm gonna dig, but it still has a little bit of luster on it and you can still see the date. Not a whole lot of zinc rot either, and look at that reverse. And these are some nice zinc coins for our collection here. Even if there is just a bunch of zinc, nothing super old or anything, still pretty cool to be seeing some nice coins come out of the ground. All right, I was gonna say, I think we might have ourselves another quarter, but this may be even better than a quarter, guys. Have a listen. That's pretty shallow, 96, 97. How cool would that be if we were able to get our first $50 here, guys? Let's go ahead and dig it and see what we can get. Huh, so it's not a coin. What the heck is it? Well, the bell on the front of it here should give us some indication. B-E-L-L, bell. Some kind of doohickey. Let me know down in the comments what you think. It's actually quite heavy. That's probably why it rang up as a 97 there. But hey, you know what? You got to dig them all. Sometimes it's a $50, sometimes it's an Eisenhower dollar. You never know. And we need them all. All right, we just had another early 60s coin come out. 1962 is the year on that one. Not sure if we need that or not, but I'm happy to see those real close to that wheat penny range. And this one was super shallow as well. Let's keep moving, see what else we can get. So after a bunch more copper pennies, it looks like we finally got ourselves another clad dime. At least I think that's what we have here. Go ahead and zoom in for you and see what we can get. I'm hoping for something older. I would really love to find a silver dime out of here. And it went in the hole. You can see it still has a little bit of luster left on it, even for being clad. Like I said, this soil is amazing. I mean, heck, if I were somewhere else, I might even think that's a silver dime. Well, let's take a look at the date. All right, it's looking a little tough to see. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it off and get you the date in just a sec. All right, that's not too bad. 2006 is the year on that one. I think we might need that one in the collection. I'm surprised we haven't found any older dimes yet, though. All right, guys, it's looking like we got ourselves another clad quarter here. Have a listen. Jumping into those high 90s sometimes, too. But ultimately settling around 89, 90. All right, let's go ahead and dig it and see what we get. Unfortunately, it is not. This was like a textbook clad quarter when it came out of the plug, but this is it. Just this, I think it's probably a piece of crunched up aluminum. It's very light, but yeah, that's the target. Anyway, on to the next. Oh my gosh, guys. This was right on top of the ground. Look at that edge. What the heck is this gonna be? Oh my gosh, it almost looks like a big silver dollar or something, but I think that these words are gonna prove otherwise. Look at that edge. What do you say we go ahead and pull it out, guys? 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, it's hollow. Are you kidding me? What even is this? Oh, I see what it is. Okay, it's looks like a part of a compass. Actually a pretty nice one if you look at it. All right, so my gosh, guys, that edge looked so good. And it's about the size of a silver dollar too. That would have been amazing. That would have been so amazing. I've never found anything close to a silver dollar. I have found a $50, but not a silver $50 or anything bigger. It's still pretty cool though. I like the find right on top of the ground. let's keep going. All right, guys, we made our way back towards that area where we found some 1960s coins and a wheat penny, and we just got another dime. This one's not silver, but it's very close. Look at this. 1967, I believe, is the date on that one. Just 3 years off of being silver, no big deal. And it's pretty worn down, so it was probably dropped in, I don't know, 90s, 2000s. It could have even been dropped yesterday. But anyways, I think there may be more in the hole because I was getting much higher signals sort of down in here. So I'm gonna see what I can find. All right, so yes, it turned out there was another coin in the hole. It's actually all the way over here on the side wall. Let's just pull it out. And it was a higher signal, and the reason for that is because it is a quarter. Now that looks like a state quarter to me, so sometime in the 2000s, yep, that is what we have, guys. That is an Iowa quarter right there. And don't let that top date fool you. That is not the date of the coin. I believe this is a 2004 Iowa quarter. So we'll see if we need that one in the collection. I think we probably do, because there are quite a few quarters to collect. On to the next. Or so I thought. Turns out there was actually another dime up in the plug, which brings the total on this particular hole up to 45 cents. And I checked it again. I think there may be another coin in here. Stand by. So right under this plug is where we were originally digging. I had to cut another one right next to it because I thought we had a penny signal, but it turned out it was just this piece of metal right here. We found a piece of this already today. This stuff's kind of all over the place in here. Unfortunately, this one wasn't a coin, but I'm sure the next one will be. All right, guys, it's been about 25-30 minutes. I was just about to call it quits. It seems like the coins have dried up, but now we have this. Now, this coin right here is definitely going to be a penny, but look how green it is. I do like to see that green color on those coins. I have found a lot of Indian heads that have that color, and I can't tell what this is yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over here, see if that's gonna give us any information. No, it is not. What the heck is this thing? Oh my gosh. Do we have an Indian head penny? That would be absolutely amazing. All right, I'm gonna try to clean it up here and see what I can get off of it. All right, guys, that's about as clean as I'm willing to get it out here in the field without tools. I will tell you, for one thing, this is not an American coin. I see NADA. That has to be the end of Canada. The question is, how old is this coin? I think we're gonna be able to figure it out, but I'm gonna have to get it back to the studio and clean it up a little bit there because I don't have the tools out here in the field to do that. All right, I think that's gonna be it for this hunt, so let's go ahead and get back to the studio and see what we can find out about this coin. All right, guys, we're back in the studio now. We got most of those coins cleaned up. Quite a few of them are actually gonna be going into the collection, which is nice to see. Here we have our mystery coin. You can see a little better now, NADA. This is definitely gonna be a Canadian coin. The question is, what is the date going to be? And I can't even make the design out on this coin just yet. If you flip it over to the other side, you can see there's not much showing there. So we'll go ahead and figure out what the date is going to be now. So I'm just going to take this toothpick and kind of lightly scrape away at some of that dirt so we can get that off of there. And we do have quite a few Canadian coin collections that this can go into. So this is going to be the date side. It's going to let us know what the date is going to be on this coin. You can see it's quite messy. And you can almost probably see why I might have thought this was maybe going to be an Indian head penny when I first saw this coin. Just that green, corrosion going on with the coin. I've seen that a couple of times in Indian head pennies. All right, let's try to get this cleaned up a little bit so we get some of that dirt loose. We'll give it a little quick wipe, and you can see that this is starting to come through for us. If we flip back over to this side, let's give this one a quick scrape down, I guess you could say. I don't think this is actually going to be super old. I think if it was an older coin, you probably would have seen the reverse start to show through by now because they're a little bit more pronounced. This one doesn't seem to be that way, but I guess we don't just know quite yet. So let's remove some of that dirt there. And I'm still not seeing much. I think it's probably going to be Queen Elizabeth, but I still can't say for sure. All right, guys, it's starting to show up for us now. This is the obverse. You can see this is the Queen Elizabeth side. So we do have a Queen Elizabeth, not super old, probably in the 80s or 90s. I'll put a non-dug example up there so you can see what that looks like. But we're going to go ahead and flip this over to this side right here. I think I can even tell that this is one of those 12-sided coins. It didn't look like that right off the bat, but it's starting to look like that to me now. You can clearly see the word Canada coming through, a little bit of that maple leaf right there. I'll go ahead and put an example of what that should look like in a non-dug example as well, and we'll keep working at it and see if we can get a date. All right, at this point, something is starting to come through. It looks like 1980 something, and that's to be expected. Like I said, these are coming around the 1980s, 1990s. So I see the 8. I can't tell what that last digit is though, so I'm gonna give it just a little bit more work and see if we can figure it out. So unfortunately, I think this is just about as good as we're gonna get it. You can clearly see the 198, and then that last digit to me is still a mystery. It could be a 3. That's what I think is my best guess. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I'll give you a better view of it here. So a couple different angles. See if you can figure it out. This coin is pretty toasted. I can't believe that such a modern coin, I would say, ended up in this condition. I mean, you can see it's pretty blasted. I think that it is one of the 12-sided coins. You can kind of see some like discreteness on that edge, and it kind of almost looks mangled up even. But yeah, so unfortunately, it's not as old as I thought it would be. It's either an 83 or an 89, something like that. But yeah, that is about as good as we're going to get it. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be putting this one into the collection unless we put it in one of those reverse spots, which we could easily fill with this coin just as a placeholder. But anyways, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the coins that we found in today's hunt. So first, I'd like to start off with the coins that aren't going into the collection. You can see we found a whole bunch at this park. We got 1 quarter 1967. I found that date a few times, so that one's not going in. Look at all these pennies that are not going in. Most of them are copper. Then we did get that 1969 Canadian penny, as well as, once again, a 1967 dime. We seem to have no problem finding those 1967 coins, and that's a whole bunch of coins that are going to be going into this little jar right here, which I have to put those coins into. So we'll go ahead and pop them in there. And yeah, that's quite a few coins being added to the jar. And look at how full it's becoming now. And now for the coins that will be going into collections, we have all of these right here, excluding this one right here. Unfortunately, that wheat penny that we found, 1941, really nice looking coin. I think I will replace what is currently in the collection with this one. I barely even had to clean it up. But unfortunately, this is not the first 1941 in the collection. If you take a look over here, if we switch over to our collection view, we already have the 1941 wheat penny in the collection. And we also have a reverse wheat ears. That was a duplicate of another one. But like I said, I think this one does have some imperfections. So we're going to be taking that 1941 we found and replacing it right there. So this is our 1941 to 1974 Lincoln Cents collection before, and here is our after. So we basically just got this 1963, probably the rarest one we got so far. Finally, a coin under $1 billion minted. Can you believe that? And we also got a 1960 Denver large date. One thing I noticed about this particular collection, it does not differentiate between the 1960 large and small date. So there's only 2 holes for that. The first one we got was actually the small date, which I believe is harder to find. And I just took that 1960 large date that we found today and put it in that little extra space right there. So that's where we'll be holding that one. And then of course I swapped out the 1941 for a better coin. Now moving on to our 1975 to 2013 Lincoln Cents collection. This one is becoming extremely full. And guess what, guys? We got a ton of coins into it. All of the coins along this bottom row here are going to be going into this collection. So let's see what that looks like in 3, 2, 1. My gosh, doesn't that look better? Look at this top part. We filled in all of that. So basically all of the coppers are done in this collection, and we got a ton of progress over here on this zinc page, as well as a 2006 over here on this right page. You'll notice that this is given a very difficult part to get filled in. I think the reason for that is because it's actually harder to find these newer coins because people have had less time to drop them, and also people aren't really using cash as much anymore. So these are actually going to be quite a difficult find, I believe, especially these 2009s, which are low mintage. As far as the quarters go, we found 2 that were making their way into the collections, actually in 2 separate collections. So we're starting with this 88 to 98 collection right here. We've got a couple in here, but the one that we found today is the 1991 Philadelphia, coming in at 571 million, and that is going to go in right there, nice and snug. And then, believe it or not, we actually got our first coin into this 2004 to 2008 state quarters collection. I can't believe that we have not found a coin in here yet, so we'll go ahead and take this piece out. And that means that we are starting a brand new collection. Look at this. We have so much to find here, and we just got our first one. It is a 2004 Iowa. I actually didn't check the mint mark, so let's do that real quick. Okay, so it's a Philadelphia mint mark, 2004 Philadelphia, Iowa, right there at 213 million minted. Actually somewhat low mintage compared to a lot of the other coins in this area. So that's a good find right there. Definitely a good one to be starting off that collection. Then moving on to dimes, we did get one coin into the 65 through 99, and that is going to be the 1999 Denver. We already have the Philadelphia filled in right there, and this is going to be the Denver. So we'll put it right next to it. And there we go. I love how the dimes slide in nice and easy, unlike some of these other coins. But you can see we have quite a bit of progress to go on this collection. And then on top of that single dime into the 65 to 99, we actually got two into the 2000 collection. This one's actually going much easier for some reason. I have no idea why. Here we have a 2001 Denver, which does actually look like it's going to be a duplicate. The reason I saved this one is because we do still have that Roosevelt reverse slot right there. So we can pop that bad boy in right there as that fits into the collection. And then on top of that, we also got ourselves a 2006 Philadelphia, which goes right here. And this collection's actually doing really well. I think that we're going to be filling this in quite nicely. Then as far as Canadian pennies go, we do have our 1920 to 1988 collection here. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the last digit off of that Canadian penny, and it doesn't look like there's actually a reverse slot for the Canadian collection. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to put this into the collection anywhere. And if we can't say for a fact that we know what the date is, we're not going to put it in. We're just going to have to keep searching. Now, as far as non-coin finds go, I think this was probably the most interesting of them all. You can see we have a compass piece right here, and it's just like the outer casing of a compass. It doesn't actually have the compass in it, but I did clean it up a little bit. This ring right here is like a little plastic piece, which I pulled out and got all the dirt and roots out of there. And it's actually kind of a cool piece, and you can see why I might have mistaken that for a silver dollar just by seeing that in the dirt. Oh my gosh, that was just an amazing, super cool thing to see come out of the ground, and then the disappointment when we found out that it was just a compass. That was sort of disappointing, but still a pretty cool piece right here, and we'll definitely be adding it to my collection of little trinkets that I found while searching for all different types of coins from all across the United States. But anyways, that's gonna pretty much do it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to go down below and leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, because I post new videos like this every single week. Always bring you along with the hunts and having a good time. And as always, I'm Quinn, and this is Quin's Coins signing out. And I will see you in the next episode of The Ultimate Coin Hunt.